Welcome. Today is the 9th annual Armstrong Street Scene Car and Bike Show here at Austintown Park with special guest Krysta Sylvester. Welcome, Krysta.
I'm so glad to be here again. Thank you for welcoming me back. And really excited. Everyone was nervous that the weather wasn't going to hold today. As you could tell, it did. I hope you wore your sunscreen.
Big time. I didn't put it on yet. I got to.
You better. And of course, there's going to be it's benefiting the American Heart Association, so all the proceeds go to a great cause. There's food, there's going to be jams, right?
Yes,
Vegas is here. It's going to be a good
Vegas
day.
band. Yep, they're very good too. And Thomas John's going to be after that.
So it's going to be a good day, absolutely.
We got some very nice looking trophies to pass out today.
Yes,
so.
I've never seen trophies like these. Each one was custom made, and there's all different classes from most unique, I think Kids' Choice Award, best bike, best truck, best car. You know, you've got your, there's a little bit of everything, as per usual here at Armstrong.
So it's been a couple years since we've seen you, Krysta. What have you been doing?
So unfortunately, you know, we didn't have the show last year because of COVID, so we missed that. But I've just been working real estate as usual, and down in Southwest Florida, and then also doing commercial up here in Pittsburgh. So
great.
I'm excited that I didn't have to catch a flight to get here for this show. I was actually in town.
Good. We're just so happy to have you on board today.
Glad to be here.
Okay, what do you think? You want to go in?
Absolutely. Let's go in and check it out.
Check it out. With me, I got Mike Wilson from my hometown, or right next to my hometown, from Sharpsville, Pennsylvania. Welcome, Mike.
Thank you very much. It looks nice show here today.
Oh, beautiful day, huh? Beautiful day. I'll tell you what. Thanks for coming all this way. How far are you from here?
About a 40-minute drive. The mileage, I'm not sure of.
How'd the car run? Good?
Car ran real good.
Okay. And what do we got here? We got a 63 Corvette Grand Sport Tribute.
Exactly.
Okay, what's that mean now?
That means there were really 5 original cars made.
That they raced at the time.
They raced and did very well. This one is built in tribute to those. Okay. It's not one of the originals, obviously. Several years ago, I guess one of those sold in the millions. So they're pretty rare.
You're saying this one's worth millions?
I
or
wish.
A million anyway, huh?
Oh, I take it. No, it's just like I said, a tribute car to those. And originally there were about 5 builders that started building these, and then there was a process where GM tried to shut them all down, and they actually called for the 5 originals and the molds to all be destroyed. And as it turned out, other people thought otherwise, and they kind of tucked them away for many years and hid them.
So this is different than the stock 63 then?
The production 63, it's definitely different than the production 63. Okay. This has a 4-inch tube frame. Okay. It has an LS1 motor and transmission, 4-speed automatic transmission out of a 98 Corvette. It has a front and rear suspension out of a C4 Corvette, and the fiberglass is custom laid out of the original molds and made to look as the production race cars looked.
Yeah, looks good. Looks very good. I ran into you down in Sharon at the Father's Day car show about June 20th this year, and I said, I saw you one day. I was cruising around and I saw you at your house one day, and I was ready to stop, and you walked in the house. I always do that. If I see a nice car, I almost tagged one guy the other day. He had this this Lexus, the new Lexus, the two-door coupe, and I tried to follow him around to get him over, but he wouldn't pull over. He thought it was that new one out, the 2021, and was riding around Hermitage, and he wouldn't pull over. He probably thought I was some nut or something, you know.
I've had that happen where a couple guys have actually pulled me over to try to check the car out.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. And I'm okay if they stop and look at it at my house too, because we're car guys and we like to show our cars.
Yes, we do. We like to talk about them too. Hey, Mike, thank you very much. What a beauty you got here. And how long have you owned her now?
3 years now.
3 years?
Yeah.
Who makes these? Was there a company that's producing these?
The company that made the base car here was Mid-America Industries.
Okay.
I believe they're out of business now.
Okay.
Also, Mongoose Motorsports here in Ohio.
I was going to say, they sound familiar. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you can find parts, can you find parts?
Oh, yeah, the parts are the easiest thing to come by. I mean, the hard part is getting the body panels, and they can only come from like Mongoose Motorsports, or there's a couple others that still make the body parts. But the mechanical side is just the regular Corvette parts.
Good. Makes it easy then.
It does.
Mike, thank you very much for coming to the show, and thanks for bringing your
Nice
car
talking
by.
with you,
Okay,
and I do appreciate it.
we'll see you around town, huh?
I'll be around.
Okay.
All right, everyone. So I'm here with Robert. Robert, what do you think of the show today?
I'm surprised. I mean, totally surprised. I turn out, I think people are just itching to get out, and that's kind of why I brought 5 cars, and my neighbor brought 4 cars.
I was going to say, when we first came over to talk to you, I said, is this one yours? You went, well, no, that one is, that one over there, that one over there. But we chose these 2 to talk about today, Robert. So you've got your Viper and your custom Corvette. So let's talk about the Viper first. I love these things. They're just, they are just.
Ever driven one?
I've driven one once, but it was an older one. So why don't you tell me what the driving experience is on this one?
Gen 4. You probably drove a Gen 1 or 2, and the difference between a 4 compared to the early Vipers is like night and day. And they're a total race car. I take it down to Pitt International Raceway down in Wampum, and I do the track down there every now and then. And it's just so much fun. And it's a race car.
Now, how does it handle? Because historically Vipers were known to be a little loose every now and then.
For me, they're I mean, I'm scared to get on it in low gear. Second gear, I'll think about it. Third gear, I can nail it. But it's a wonderful car.
Now, what is it? What's it pushing on? I mean, obviously it's a V10. So what do we got pushing out on this?
696 at the rear wheels.
Wow. Okay.
And the Corvette is 690. There's only 6. This is a little quicker.
A little quicker. Okay.
Yeah, but the bed handles better. I mean, this is a race car.
Very cool. So let's.
When you drive it, it's like a drive. It's an experience.
Oh yeah. Well. Okay. So speaking of an experience, which one do you like better, the Viper or the Corvette?
I can't go there because I got 5 and I better drive them all, and I like them all. No favorite. The 54 is a 54 Corvette, and it's tough. But the newer cars are pretty good, and I really don't have a favorite. All right. The Vet's a lot easier to drive because you got to drive this car.
Now I understand the Corvette might have a story as well, so why don't we walk over to towards the Corvette here, and you can kind of tell me a little bit more about it.
It's a Carl custom Corvette. It's a build, and they build them in Des Moines, Iowa. They have ceased operation because there was some conflict between the 2 owners. And my serial number on mine is 006, 61 built. And they didn't build a lot of them. And they cut the body panels off of a C6 format Corvette, and this is what they come up with. And it's just a lot of Corvette people don't know what in the world it is. And you said you interviewed somebody that drove one, and okay, I'd like to know who that somebody was.
It was a while ago. And I think it was similar to this, but it was completely different. Okay. And I've never seen something like this. And I mean, it's just absolutely gorgeous. I love the body lines back here. I mean, I feel like this would be so much fun to drive.
Proportion-wise, the way they build it, it's not just a put-together car. It's engineered, and proportion, it's kind of dead on. like a brand new 63 split. If you want to buy a new 63 split, this is what they are. And it's a go anywhere car. It's about 5 inches lower than a C2, original split window. It's 15 inches wider, about 15 inches longer, and about 5 times quicker.
Well, isn't that the most fun?
Oh man, I tell you. And the interior is double leather. It's sea green. It's silver interior, correct for the series of the C2s, and the paint is sea green silver, original 63 color.
That paint is beautiful, I have to tell you. Especially, I'm glad that the sun is out and you could really see all that metal flake in it. I mean, absolutely beautiful. Well, I really appreciate your time today. Thanks for bringing all your cars out. Hopefully, they'll we'll get a
TV a lot, but I've never met you.
Well, I'm glad to meet you.
That wasn't me a couple years ago.
No. And I mean, it's been so long, and of course, you know, we were off last year for COVID, so we're glad to be back, and we're certainly glad to have you here. Thanks for coming out today.
Thank you so much.
What do you think? Does it suit me? Yeah, road trip to Florida. Do you mind?
With me, I got one of my co-hosts we had on a couple shows already, huh?
Yeah, thank you.
Canfield.
Yeah, I appreciate you inviting
We'll
me.
get you on again, too, as long as you stay out of trunks out of cars. Okay? Rich Morgan is with us today. What do you think, Rich? Huh?
Well, my wife wanted me to get out of the house, so she said, just go. Yeah, so I'm
Retired
here,
now.
yes.
She's seeing too much of you.
Yeah, I think so, probably. This is quite a show. I've just gotten started, but when I just look down the aisles here, there's so many things I want to stop and see. But I came in front of a 1952 Chevy Fleetline. I love the way this car looks and shines. I haven't even had a chance to look at everything
I
about
thought you were
it.
into the British cars. The old.
I am too. I did see an MG up there somewhere. But this reminds me of, I think the first car I probably ever rode in that my dad owned, and it even had one of these shades on the top there. So I always get a kick out, when I touch the car, don't tell anybody. Oh my gosh.
Rich, thanks.
This is why I'm not co-hosting anymore, because I touch too many cars.
And not only he touches them, he hops in trunks.
Well, that too.
You are watching Street Scene with Armstrong Cable with one of your favorite hosts, Rick Gurrera, and his best friend, Libby. I come in number 2.
All right, Jason, glad to be here with you. Thanks for bringing the Mopar crew out. We are here in front of your Scat Pack. Did I hear you right? Tell me a little bit about it.
So it's 2018 Challenger Scat Pack, 392 Hemi, 8-speed automatic. Quite the fun car to drive. 2-inch drops, slight performance modifications, including the throttle body intake, cold air intake, and then brace work to keep the body intact for handling the power.
I like that. See, a lot of people don't think about that. When you have so much torque, it twists things around a little bit. Things kind of shift and move, and you really got to brace, and the car needs to be prepared for that.
Oh, most definitely, most definitely. So she's fitted with a front suspension brace, rear suspension brace, rear differential brace, drive shaft loop, and a 2-inch drop on the suspension.
Very nice, and I like that you have the AFE power. I have a Ford F-150 that's all tuned up, and I have the same intake, and I love it. I think it makes them breathe. So a lot of people don't realize when you really start tweaking these things and they start pushing out so much power, that's when you get into the overheating problems.
Yes, definitely one of the most important things to do is getting her breathing better. Intake, throttle body spacer down there, that little red piece really helps give her a unique little whistle on the intake. You can hear it pulling the air in under heavy loads.
Very nice. I like to hear that, and I like that you brought your crew out here. I mean, we've got quite a array. Now, do you guys get together and hold events? Do you go to different car shows, or is it just a couple guys hanging out and having fun?
We usually get together every other week, all kinds of events. If we can make it, we're there. There's usually more of us. We were at the one yesterday in Vienna, so some of the crew's a little tuckered out from keeping them all detailed. So just 3 of us today, but usually there's 10, 15 of us that roll out.
Wow.
So it's a good-sized crew.
Now, this is a little bit of a newer model. Do you plan on holding on to it for a while? Do you plan on selling it? Maybe getting something different? What's your plans?
Oh no, I'm keeping this one. I'm keeping this one. I love the way she looks, the way she sounds. She drives amazing. So I'm be holding on to this one for quite a while.
Gotta love that Mopar muscle.
Oh, absolutely. Nothing like it.
And we're standing in front of a 1954 Corvette. What number is this?
3712. So it's actually 36. They did 3,600 of these.
Okay.
And it's a very late 54, so it's probably the last 100 they built.
Okay.
And
how'd you end up with this?
I was originally looking for a 57 Corvette, and I locked into this one from a barber in, he was in not Ellsworth, somewhere by Akron. Mm-hmm. And I got him, and he had inherited the car from his uncle who lived in Miami, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And
so that's where this is from, Miami?
This is Miami car. I'm second owner on it.
Second owner?
Paper-wise.
Paper-wise, okay.
Because he never retitled it.
Okay.
And then I seen pictures of the car. He told me what he wanted, and I paid him. And I had to go to Miami to pick it up. So I took my trailer down to Miami. There was about a $2,000 storage bill on it, which I wasn't expecting. But
you had to pay that?
I paid that, yeah.
Ouch, ouch.
Yeah, I
Could
did
have got
that.
it towed home for it, yeah.
Yeah, I did that and brought it home, and it's a pretty original car.
How long have you owned her now?
Since 1980.
1980. Well, that's good. That's what.
How old are you?
I'm
when were you born?
68, 53.
50. Oh, you're old
Scar's
too.
1 year old.
Yeah, you're old.
Yeah, I'm up there. I'm up there. That's good though. Happy and healthy, huh? Well,
Yeah, baby.
So so why would you buy this car? Why did you buy this car?
Because I like I said, I was looking for 57, but the 54 was okay.
Okay.
So I bought it. I bought it right, and had it for a year. And then I found the 57 that I wanted, and I bought that one also.
All right, so I'm here with John Sylvester, who actually called me over and goes, "Hey, we have the same last name." I said, "You got to be kidding me," but you were not kidding.
No, I'm not. Same, yeah. The guy who painted my car is Quality Auto Body on Belmar Avenue. Frank Hassie and Jeff. And it's a 350, 330 horse, 7-hour transmission, disc brakes all the way around. Beautiful color.
It's like that raging orange color.
Yeah.
I mean, there's anywhere that you go, people have to stare at you with this. And I'll tell you what, the Bel Air was actually, I was just talking the other day with a couple of the car guys, and we were doing a YouTube video, and I said, it's no offense to the new cars, but to me, they're all starting to look like giant eggs. I understand aerodynamics and everything, and weight distribution and all that. But nothing compares, and this was kind of, the Bel Air was the car I was thinking of in my head when I was talking about it. Nothing compares to all of these body lines and all of this chrome and all the details. I mean, make sure that you walk around with that camera and you take a good look at this car because it's absolutely gorgeous. Tell me how long you've had it.
20 years.
20 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so what made you buy it 20 years ago?
I told you, I've been looking for a car for 5 years. I remember my older brother had a I was 10 years old. I was always on 57. My dad said, get a job. I got a job at GM. I've been looking for the car for a long time. Frame off. We got the car from Morgantown, West Virginia. I mean, it was a mess.
Was it? Okay, so
Yeah.
what, when you say it was a mess, tell me, what did you have to do?
Oh, frame off, the whole thing, everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So I know your wife didn't want to come over and, have a talk with us, but does she like to roll around with you? Do you like to take this out on nice days like today?
She loves it. She come out, I cleaned the car. She said, oh, you missed a spot.
That's right. Well, I mean, all this chrome, it's almost like a mirror. You got to keep it clean. So is this something that you're going to hold on to till you go, or are you going to pass it on to anybody?
Well, I got 2 kids and my wife. She said, if I die, she's going to go to casino with the money. No.
No way.
No.
No way.
No. You like my shirt?
I'm Italian. We don't call the cops, we call family.
That's true.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
Your family's on the east side. My cousin Joey Marion. Marion is up by Hannah's over there.
Oh,
on
yeah.
Cassius Avenue. I know your dad. I talked to him before. Yeah.
When you said the east side, I was like, here we go. That's where we're all from.
Raw Hill. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank you so very much for calling me over. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, and thank you for coming out and supporting the show today.
I've been coming here for a long time, since day one.
Thank you.
Thank you. We got the same name. Keep the name. I love that name.
That's right. We're keeping it, Sylvester.
Yeah.
With me, I have Pete Mechanic with his 1957 Cadillac Coupe 62. Cadillac Coupe 62.
57.
But it's a 57.
Yeah.
It's stock, right?
Oh, no. Nothing but stock.
So this isn't your car. This
No,
is
it's my
your brother's car.
Yes, yes,
okay. It's
Yeah.
tough for me to do a Marine here. I'm an old sailor guy, and we used to, Thanks for your service.
You're
there.
welcome. Thank you.
What do we
too.
got going on here?
That's an LS2 out of a 2005 rollover Corvette. And took it out and put a front end clip off of a 80 Camaro. And it's got coilovers all the way around. It's a modified West Coast motor with heads and cam in it.
So she moves pretty good, huh?
About 540 horse.
Oh, that's good. That'll get you going. Huh?
So
This car weighs a lot, too.
About 5,000 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I wasn't going to say that. I was going to say at least
Yeah.
44, 45.
And,
5,000.
Little bullhorn.
They got the bullhorns on it?
From the movie of, what was that movie? Oh, Boss Hog,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh-huh. And what did you do to the body now?
Now, body, we didn't do nothing.
Okay. Back end you
Just
did.
the way it came from Kentucky.
But the back end you did something, right?
Well, we chopped the back end
Okay.
and put
Mhm.
custom fit,
Let's check it out here.
framework,
Okay.
Put the Mickeys on there. They're 22-inch wide Mickeys with a 4.9-inch.
Uh-huh.
It's got coilovers all the ways around,
These are big cars, huh?
custom lights.
Let's look at the back end here.
The back end.
Yeah.
Even got a, what do you want to call it? Backup camera.
It's got a backup camera? Oh, wow. Oh, that's cool.
The trunk is hydraulic. We've got a fuel cell in there. The wheel wells, we make everything ourselves because my brother has a fabricating shop.
Uh-huh.
We used to build race cars a long time ago. So the trunk's hydraulic and welded the wheel wells, the tub wells, right to the frame because it's so solid, And these are all custom lights, LED lights.
Okay, those are out of what?
These are out of a 59 Cadillac.
Cadillac, okay. Oh, these are the lights here. Oh, I see. Oh, I see them now. Okay. I wasn't sure, right next to the chrome there.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
pretty slick, huh?
So, and then the on and off switches under the license plate for the
So
battery.
no one, oh, okay.
You got a fuel cell inside.
You got some work into this. It doesn't look like much.
It took 10 months to build it. Basically, you took the frame, the body off, and started from there, building the frame, cutting it, and putting the front clip on and the back clip,
Looks good.
and all the framework.
It's definitely an eye catcher.
Yeah, he wanted something different,
He got it. This alone is different, a 58 Caddy. Huh?
Yeah, 57.
57 of
But
that.
he said, I want something really different.
You got it.
So, the next project is the Riviera.
What year?
I'm not sure yet what he wants.
Those boat tails are nice. those boat tails are nice. What, the 71, 70?
Yeah, that's what he's thinking, so.
Pete, thank you for showing us your brother's car.
Yes, you're welcome, you're welcome.
Okay.
And I'm proud of the work he did.
All right, so I'm here at the Armstrong Street Scene Car and Custom Bike Show here in Austintown, Ohio, and I'm here with Ray. You know, we saw this, and then we saw that, and then we saw that over there and said, okay, we need to come talk to this guy. This is so cool. Tell me what you've got here. You've got quite a collection, and I understand there's a bit of a story to it.
Right, well, this is a 74 Corvette. It actually belonged to a friend of mine back in the 80s, and he wrecked it, and it got sold. It was lost for like 30 years, and a buddy of mine was showing me pictures of it. It was just a rear carcass. I'm like, dude, I built that car back in 1989. So I bought it, and it was so far gone. It wasn't worth restoring, so we did our own thing, my son and I. This is my son, Keith.
Hi, Keith. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So yeah, we built it. It was, like I said, it was a basket case, and I'd never seen a rubber bumper Corvette turn into a gasser, so that was kind of the inspiration. That and Eckler's made like a Corvette conversion for a station wagon, so we kind of did that. That's what the model is on the hood. I was showing people, or telling them my idea, what I was going to do, and they couldn't grasp it, so I built that so they could see what I was doing.
Yeah.
So it's a 383 stroker, tilt front end, straight axle car. The rear roof is actually the cap off a Ford Ranger pickup. The back end is got taillights out of a 60 Galaxy Thunderbird kind of thing, so it looks like jet thrusters. It's got wheelie bars like fighter jets. There's a belly tanker underneath it. And then I built these ones for my grandsons, my granddaughter. It's just a complete miniature, the little Glasser. Guy Shively painted my license plates for this, so they matched mine. So it's kind of like a reproduction. And then my newest grandson, he's 11 months old, so we were doing a tricycle for him.
That's so great, and I appreciate everything. And you know, when you put work into this and you tie the family into it, you kind of keep that passion alive, which I always love. And I mean, something like this you just don't see very often, and you kind of, for lack of a better word, not mishmash, but you pulled inspiration from other vehicles.
Right.
What made you choose to put, the back end of a Ford on there?
You know what? I was going with like a fighter plane kind of theme, and I'm blessed with a vision. I see things I like normal people don't see, kind of a thing. And like I said, it was just a hodgepodge. Like the missile side pipes, they're functional. The taillights look like fighter jet, afterburners. I built a belly tanker, so because the P-40 planes used to have belly tankers, all auxiliary fuel tanks. The little car, it's even got one underneath it. So I mean, it's got an F1 steering wheel. And actually, a guy stopped at my shop last summer. He's like, man, I saw this car. I had to stop and look at it. He goes, I used to fly Cobra helicopters when I was in the service. He goes, I think I got the stick out of one of those in my basement. Would you be interested in that? I'm like, sure. Next day he drops it off. That's my gear shifter. It's got the missile and machine gun buttons and stuff on it. That was like the missing piece to finish it off.
That is so cool. Now, I do have to say, I mean, everything looks pretty functional on this, but I have to say, what really can you see out of those mirrors? I don't think too much.
It does have a backup camera.
It's modernized.
Yeah, we need spotters. You got to have spotters.
Yeah.
It's all cool,
No, I mean, it's street legal, right?
Oh, yeah. You know what? I drove it to the Supernats from my shop in North Jackson like 2 years ago.
Okay.
So, and I drove it to Quaker Steak once. And it's funny, with the gasser thing, I've driven it to shows and people are like, man, once you get a motor in that, you will have something. I'm like, dude, I drove it here.
Yeah, maybe you just put, they might have thought you might have just pushed it. Now, as far as you being the son, and kind of leading the way once everything gets passed down, are you going to continue maybe building unique vehicles like this, like he has, or what's your plan moving forward?
We actually have another project going for the hauler for this, and then I have a 74 Maverick that we need to rebuild. It was actually the car my mom took her driver's test in. It's been in my family since 74.
40,000-mile car.
It was wrecked in like 1985, and I've been trying to get it since I was 15 years old. Finally, my cousin knew he wasn't going to do anything with it and gave it to me, so I got the car for free.
It was the day we hauled the motor to the shop for this car. He called and said, hey, do you want that Maverick?
Perfect.
So
Patience paid off on it.
Yeah, so I'll have a car that's been in my family since 74, and I plan on keeping it in the family. So this definitely isn't going to be our last hot rod. There'll be more.
Well, that's really good, and also it seems like you've got someone else that might keep that bloodline flowing, right?
Oh, they love it. They just keep wanting us to turn up the speed on it. It's Rascal scooter powered, so it'll haul pretty good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're shaking your head over there. You like that, huh?
We were just driving around. It was only in like quarter power, because if you turn it all the way up, he's running away from us.
That means you just got to work on your running, get yourself back in. He'll make you get into shape. Well, this is a really cool vehicle. I mean, I'm really glad that you told us the story. I think that's really great, and I hope you guys continue, following your passion and doing what you love here. This is awesome.
I love it. That's what I do.
I'll tell you one thing about this car, though, is we went from day one of it sitting on the ground to what you see here in 4 months.
Wow.
We were pushing to get it into a car show, and we wanted to be able to drive it in. So we did, and there was a lot of Monster Energy drinks and a lot of late nights. But 4 months it went from just a basket case to this.
March 4th, 2017 was day one. August 8th, 2017, it was this.
That's awesome.
From carcass to car show in like 4.5 months.
Well, I don't know, it doesn't say that, but if you're going to have that out on display, you should say that, because, I mean, that's an incredible amount of work to do in a very short amount of time.
We took it to the Supernats in '98. It was just primer. It was the first year. And we had the picture, the before picture, it said, March 4th, 2017. And people were like tapping on the window. They're like, hey, this says March 4th this year. I said, yes, it does. You see what I'm doing? They're like, what's that? Sitting in this chair. I said, I haven't done that since that day, so.
Well, glad to see it. I'm glad to see it come alive, and good luck with it at the future shows.
Oh, thank you very much.
You are watching Street Scene.
The original engine was a 340cc Kohler two-cycle engine, and it had a belt drive system like a snowmobile would have.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's just it, I mean, when you're a working newsman, it's kind of like being a fireman,
All right, so I'm here with Tony, and Tony, this thing is a freaking beast.
Welcome to Tech Tips. I'm Rick Gurrera, along with Adam Pratt from Youngstown Cycle and Speed here over in Boardman, Ohio on Market Street. How's it going?
Good, Rick. How about you?
Very good, very good. We're going to talk about what today? Airbrushing.
Yep.
You guys do a really nice job. Look at this thing. Huh?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
this is actually one of the pieces that brought Matt and I together where we cut different things out of metal and I airbrush them. That's kind of, there's a lot of guys doing this. We're the only ones airbrushing them. One of the cool things we do, we have customers send us pictures of their actual cars, motorcycles, pets, whatever. We do sports teams, whatever they want. Matt will cut them. This is like a standing one here. A lot of these are wall hangers, and I airbrush them. It makes a cool little thing for their car. They take the car shows, hang them on their wall. Also, we can make them into clocks, do whatever. Prices of these start at $65.
They're pretty cool, pretty cool. Very nice. Look at that. A lot of work goes into this. Pretty nice. And also, I see the hood there.
Yeah, we also do, this is how I got my start. So this is a hood that I did recently. This is their actual macaw, so it's the actual size. I did all the measurements, head, body, if you spread their macaw out, it's that size.
Oh, okay, that's their bird right
That's
there.
their bird, yeah.
Uh-huh.
So this was all, I had a couple days into painting it and clear coating it, and it's ready to go out the door, so.
It looks good. It looks good. So you not only do cars, you do bikes, and you do about anything, right?
Yes, sir, we can airbrush on anything. Leather jackets, anything.
Leather jackets too? How does that work?
The paint I use turns into like a latex, so it'll stretch. And you basically just heat set it, clear coat it, and it's done.
And it's done. Oh, I've never seen that before. That's neat.
I've done Jeep roofs, like the tops, a bikini top on a Jeep. I've done all kinds of stuff. Tire covers. Do a lot of tire covers.
So how long you been in the area now?
I've been in the area since 2006. Yeah, I've been doing airbrush work since the early '90s. So I was a kid, wanted to paint my RC cars. So
right. Oh, I was into those too. Those are fun. Yeah.
That's and it exploded out of control.
Oh, that's what usually happens. You know, go crazy. Do you do any drawings or anything? I see some on the walls.
Yes,
over here.
this is not my work. This is all. I support a lot of local artists here, so these are just some buddies of mine that are illustrators and varying artists. We actually sell their work here. But yeah, I do charcoal drawings. I do any medium really. So.
Do we ever see you at any of the local shows?
No, I don't have time, man. I'm a dad. I don't have time for that stuff.
All right, so I'm here with Vic. Vic, this thing caught my eye from a distance away, and I had to come up and ask you because I'll be honest with you, I don't know what it is. And there might be a lot of people watching that don't know what it is, so why don't you tell us about it?
It's a 1974 Rupp Centaur. Rupp Industries was in Mansfield, Ohio. That's where it was built.
Oh, wow.
They only made these for 2 years. This is a 74. I bought it in 1985 off a junk pile for $50. And I restored it all back to original and then made some changes on it, did a lot of things to it, and I've had it ever since. I just love it. It rides like a Cadillac, handles like a race car. The thing is just awesome.
That's very cool. Now, I mean, you say, you know, it rides like a Cadillac and it handles like a race car. Can you kind of elaborate a little bit on that? What are you pushing out of this? What type of engine is in it and everything like that?
It originally came from the factory with a 2-cycle small engine. That's how they were built from the factory, but I found out through some research that they were supposed to originally come with a Volkswagen engine. So when I found that out, well, I owned a motorcycle shop for 37 years in Pennsylvania. So I took it upon myself to turn it into a Volkswagen engine. So that's what's in it now.
Okay.
It has a 4-speed shift on the floor with a foot clutch, and it's just tons of fun to drive.
I mean, it looks really unique. Is it difficult with where you're sitting with the clutch and not the clutch necessarily, but the shift being right there? I mean, is it fairly?
You have to get used to shifting with your left hand.
Yeah.
So if I ever go to England, I'll know how to drive.
Okay. Yeah. Different side of the road, but you know. Now, I see that it's for sale. You know, you obviously put a lot of work into it, and it seems like you're still very passionate about it. If you sell it, what are you going to get to replace it?
I have a lot of other toys.
Okay. So it won't be sorely missed?
So, no, we have 3 or 4 other motorcycles, and I have an old truck over there that I'm building. So.
Very nice, very nice. Well, that's absolutely wonderful.
I just decided it was time to have somebody else enjoy it.
And I hope they do. I mean, honestly, to be perfectly frank, I've never seen this in my life. Now, when you say that you restored it pretty much back to original and then you added, again, for someone like me that doesn't know much about this, tell me what the original was and then what you've now added to it.
The original engine was a 340cc Kohler 2-cycle engine, and it had a belt drive system like a snowmobile would have.
Oh, okay.
And that's how they came from the factory. But like I said earlier, we found out they were originally supposed to have a Volkswagen engine. So I went and bought one, and we took it. My wife thought I was insane when she saw me ripping it apart. We modified the frame a little bit and put a Volkswagen engine and transmission and made a foot clutch out of it, and the rest is history.
So the body, technically everything that I'm looking at, that's stock? That's what it would have looked like?
The way it came from the factory.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
And I mean, behind your head there, what?
That's an air scoop that where the original old engine was, that's where the air intake was to let air in. And it was just a little plastic box. So when we did this, I built that thing and just to let more cool air into the engine, and plus I think it looks neat.
Very smart, very smart. Now, I mean, I understand it is street legal, obviously. I mean, how many miles have you put on it?
The whole bike still only has 10,000 original miles on it.
Oh, wow.
When I bought it, it only had 1,300. The man who bought it new, unfortunately, passed away, and it ended up laying outside the shop where it was bought, and nobody ever fixed it, and it kind of rotted away. And,
oh, goodness.
And actually, a friend of mine who was a Rupp dealer in Pennsylvania sold it new. That's how I found out about it.
Okay.
And I've had it ever since.
So you looked at it, you saw a vision, and you said, I can definitely make something beautiful out of this thing.
I won't use the exact words, but the day I brought it home on a trailer, my wife looked at it and said, "What are you going to do with that piece of?"
With me now here at the Street Scene Car and Bike Show here in Austintown Park, we got Joe Protein, and Joe brought a 1934. What is this?
It's a Ford Coupe, 1934 Ford Coupe with a 350 Chevy.
350, built to the T's,
Oh,
huh?
yes. Oh,
built to
yes.
the T's. How long have you owned it?
Well, we just finished building it about this past March. We've been working on it for like 2 years. A good friend of mine, a real good buddy of mine, John Laurent, he was basically the brains and the muscle of the car, and that was basically the bank that supported it.
Oh yeah, you must have a lot of money.
Well,
or you had a lot of money.
Yeah, I did. I did. It's in her now.
Isn't it unreal how much it costs to do this? You know, it's a great hobby, and I tell everybody, and you know what? You gotta watch. You gotta watch how much money you put into these things, because you never get them out. You might have 100 grand in this, and then you go to sell it someday, and they say, "Well, I'll give you 60, 70 grand." And I say, "No, I got 100 grand." But it's like,
well, I got a 6-year-old grandson. That's his. Anything happens to me, it's an automatic deal to him. It's a quick deed to him. I built it for him. I put a lot of passion and time in it, and like I said, with my buddy John there, and it was, you know, because it's like building a car.
Yeah.
You know, you put it together, you take it apart. You put it together, take it apart. And then when you paint it, try to put it back. Oh, this doesn't fit.
Yeah.
That doesn't fit. You got to move this. So, I mean.
you see those super builders on TV. They put it together 2 or 3 times.
Within an hour.
Yeah.
They did that within an hour, and it took us two years to do.
Yeah, but they, you know, before they paint it and everything, they'll put it together, they'll take it apart, and they'll see something, and they'll put it back together. And I guess that's basically how you're going to do it if you want to get it perfect. You know? So what made you want to get a 34?
Well, my grandfather had one when I was growing up, and he had a little I think his was a 29 bucket. And I remember him doing, and I always said to myself, one day I'm going to get one. And sure enough, we ended up building it. So this is, you know, dedicated to him. And
beautiful car.
Oh,
It's
it
beautiful.
is.
I seen when you were coming in this morning, I said, wow, this thing really pops, and it's got everything to it.
Yes, thank you.
All right, so I'm here with Tony, and Tony, this thing is a freaking beast. I was walking around like, who do I want to talk to? And then I saw this thing sticking out, and I was like, that guy over there, I need to talk to him. That thing is wicked. Tell us what we're looking at.
It's my first car. I actually drove this to high school. It's a '68 Camaro, and I was going to have the back half done out of high school, and I ended up doing a full tube chassis, and this is what became of it.
So it's been quite a few years of work and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, but I like that it was something that you originally had. I mean, why did you hold on to it rather than sell it like most people do?
Because I'm a car guy, and I love my car.
Now, obviously, this is not something that you see on the street. This is not something normal. Tell me about the build. Tell me why you decided to make this literally a full-blown track car.
Well, I was I just like the way the big tire cars look. And I took it somewhere after high school to just have that done. And then I wanted it to sit a different way, so they said full tube chassis, and then that's what happened. Then the car sat for 25 years, and I couldn't find anybody to finish it. And then I bumped into Jason Burns from American Race Cars in Port Clinton, and he's the one responsible for all the fabrication. And then had some issues with the motor, and then I got this motor together, and Doug Mann from Mann Performance built this from Newark, Ohio. So it's got 1,200 horsepower, and I drive it everywhere.
No way.
I drove it from Cleveland.
Do cops stop you? Do they like try and pull you over and go, hey, you know what you got here?
Not one time. Actually, the first day I ever had the car out, a cop in my little township pulled me over just to see if it had a registration.
All right,
But I passed the highway patrol. I passed like 3 of them on the way here.
Nice.
No big deal.
I feel like they probably realize they probably won't be able to catch you if they.
There's no hiding in this car.
Yeah, there's no hiding. Now, I noticed that you've got the individual shifts.
Yeah.
That's got to be something that takes a little bit of practice, because I feel like if you miss one, you're in trouble.
No, this is a foolproof transmission. It's called a Lenko. When all the sticks are forward, you just use the clutch to get rolling, and then you could just leave your foot on the floor and you just pull them. You can't miss.
That's awesome.
It's the easiest. It's an old pro stock transmission.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what they used to. So it's just for it's a cool look, and it can hold a lot of horsepower.
So what does it run in the quarter?
It does. I have never run it.
No, why?
I drive it.
I know you drive it, but I mean, like, you gotta get curious. Aren't you just curious?
Eventually, I'm also not. I'm not curious to put it on its roof either.
Well, you do a little half throttle, then like a 3/4.
It's a matter of finding time.
Oh, this thing is so awesome. I mean, and actually, I think it's cool that you not really daily it, but you actually drive it.
I'll put 200 to 400 miles on it a week.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you know what? They were meant to drive. That's the thing. They were meant to drive. And when you've got something like this, it's almost a shame to keep it as like a trailer queen or in your garage, because you want people to see this thing.
Yes, exactly. I want them to see. I like driving it. I like driving it down the highway.
So, question for you. You ever gonna sell it?
Never. Be buried in this car. I'm already buried in this car.
So my father said the same thing about a hot rod that he has. He said, when I die, make sure that you dig a grave next to me big enough for my car. Is that going to be you too?
Well, I don't know. I'd like to have somebody get it. I don't know who yet, though.
Well, this is awesome, and thank you so much. This thing is a beautiful piece of machinery, and I'm really glad you brought it out today.
Thanks.
With me, I have John Laurent from Lake Milton, Ohio, and also
Catherine Bosley. Hello.
Bosley. I grabbed her, I snagged her out of the show. I said, "Come on, Catherine, you got to help me out here."
Good old fun with good old friends.
Yes. Sir. Catherine and I used to work together for quite a while at WKBN, and we got a '65 Plymouth Satellite
426 Max Wedge.
Max Wedge.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the Max Wedge mean?
It's the motor that's in the car. It had the offset 4 barrels on it, and they only made them from 62 to 65.
Okay. What was the purpose of it?
They used them for factory drag cars.
Okay.
Because they could win on the weekend and sell them on the weekday. Was what their idea was.
That's what they did with those, yeah.
And while that's all very impressive, the color is stunning. Everybody's talking about this color. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
It was a color that was on the car was really close, and we took a picture with a PPG camera, and it was actually a Porsche red that was made for a few years, but my wife liked the color so much, she said, whatever you do, make it the same color when you repaint it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
And the wife makes the rules.
Yeah,
Yes.
actually she made me put this one in her name so I couldn't sell it. She said, you'll fix it and sell it, and we're not selling this one.
Was it happy life, happy wife, happy wife, happy life?
Happy house, happy spouse.
Yeah. So when you look at this sitting here in this huge show, what do you think? You got to just feel this big wealth of pride.
Yeah, and I was really surprised. We thought it would take longer, but we did it in just a little under a year, which, with working on it after work at night and stuff, was surprising that we got it done that fast.
So this is your first show?
We drive it a lot. I've drove it almost 6,000 miles. We're going to drive to Cook's Forest with it next weekend to a car show there.
You were up in Clarion?
Yeah.
Okay, this morning, it took a while for me to get here.
I was in Clarion. We came back, and then we're going to go, not next week, it's the following week.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful up there, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, we have a camp up there.
So what made you want to get this?
At one time, I had a 1965 Plymouth Belvedere, and it was a drag car from the day it was new. It
That's
said
pretty close, though, right?
It said Buckeye Brawler. They're exactly the same car. The Satellite was a higher option version of the Belvedere.
Same body style. And
Exactly the same. All the parts were interchangeable. Actually, it just had more chrome and more options. But the Satellite was so much like the Belvedere when I saw it, and it was even red. And the first one I had was red. So I told my wife, we might as well just buy this. We'll never find another one this nice in Ohio.
I saw you at the Niles one. We did our first show at that high school there.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get you. Then we got sidetracked, and in my mind I go, I'm going to get that guy someday because this is a beautiful car.
Thank you.
This belongs in the movies, don't you think? I think so.
I think it belongs in my garage.
There you go.
All right, so I'm here with Dawn. Dawn, I saw this car and I was like, I really need to come over and talk to this guy. And then I like the Frankenstein. So is there a story behind this? And your wife said that you built this thing from the ground up. So tell me about it.
Yeah, this car was actually from Michigan. It was an old drag car that got wrecked and stuff. And I bought it, and with all my scars in my hands, I said it's like Frankenstein. I rebuilt everything from the front end to the back. So the only thing I didn't do was the engine. Gordon Racing engines out of Sharpsville, PA, done the motor in it. Has a 468 big block, 700 R4 transmission. Everything else, I did the paint, bodywork, interior, suspension. I did all that.
Now, you said it was completely wrecked, and that you basically had to do all that work. What made you look at it and go, yeah, I want to take this on, I want to do all this work?
When I got it, the guy had started on it, and then he had to sell it because of a divorce and stuff like that. So I bought it, and I always wanted an old coupe, whether it was a Ford or Chevy, when we found this one. And I said, I'm going to get it, and brought it home, and 5 years later, here it is.
Only 5 years. I mean, I've been hearing, we've been going around, we've been talking to people, and a lot of their cars sit around for 10, 20, 30 years before they really get to them. You kind of, expedited that process.
I retired 3 years ago, so it was nonstop after that. So, but I had little stops in between here and knee surgeries and shoulder surgeries, but it's been our passion to get it done. And matter of fact, I'm already doing another car. So, but we like coming to the shows and stuff. It's not the easiest on gas, but it's fun. It turns heads.
I was going to say, it definitely turns heads, and of course, at that point, who cares about the gas? And I like the metal flake because it's almost like, I don't know if my eyes are deceiving me, but is this black with orange in it?
Gold metal flake in that.
Gold, okay.
And it's, there's also gold metal flake in the top. But it's a little misfits to paint it and spray it, but I like it. Everybody else seems to like it too, so.
How about your wife? You like it over there? She loves it. That's great. Well, I'm really glad that you came out. It's a really unique piece of machinery, which, we see them constantly, but, obviously when someone like yourself has that type of passion and I love to hear the stories where someone says, yeah, I'm going to take that on. Oh, it's a pile of junk. Cool. I'm going to rebuild that thing. Now, are you going to continue it on? You said that you have one more vehicle. What is that?
I'm doing a 71 Buick Skylark.
Oh, wow.
And I'm in the process of off-frame restoration on that, doing that right now. In between other things, home projects and stuff, but I hope to have that done by next year, the year after. But this one here is the main one right now.
All right.
So.
Well, I hope that you get to bring the other one out here next year, maybe when it's done, and maybe this one too. Oh, and the shirts. Okay, so there's something with the shirts. Go ahead.
Frankenstein.
That's
Frankenstein.
it?
Yeah. There we go. Frankenstein.
What a team. Thank you so much for coming out.
With me, I have Glenn Stevens, retired from FMJ.
That's right, 49 years.
49 years.
Yeah.
Wow. What do you
Now-
think of retirement?
Well, now I have 6 Saturdays and 1 Sunday.
That's good. I see you doing some commercials now on TV and everything.
Yeah, Dave Flynn, Auto Group, known Dave for a long time, and yeah, we've been helping him out, and everybody's seemed to be responding well to it.
Good.
Yeah.
It's fun being retired, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Because
yeah,
I know
yeah.
what kind of hours you probably had at the TV station. I had some odd ones myself when I was working. So.
Well, that's just it, you know. I mean, when you're a working newsman, it's kind of like being a fireman, you know.
Mhm.
You know, you can have the whole day planned out. The biggest story of the day happens 10 minutes before 6, you know.
And then just- We got Nick here. Nick's part of the Corvette Club. You're part of the Corvette Club?
Mahoning Valley.
Yeah, Mahoning Valley. Nice Corvette, brand new one. What color is that one?
The red.
The red one?
Yeah.
Very nice. And we got Ouija here. Ouija. Hi, Ouija.
No, he's afraid of them. Oh my God. Oh my God.
With me now, I have Jim Hoover from Newcastle, Pennsylvania.
That's correct.
Welcome to the Street Scene Car and Bike Show here at Austintown Park.
Thank you.
Austintown, Ohio.
Thank you.
Got a nice little ride here, huh?
Yes, it was a beautiful day for it.
Beautiful. Boy, you believe it, huh?
Yeah, it's great.
It was supposed to rain all day. The forecasters are saying it's going to be a crummy day.
Right.
The only bad thing about it, I'm going to get...
By the looks of all these cars, I don't think anybody believed that it was going to rain today.
Oh, no. Well, when I woke up this morning, I checked the weather forecast. It said 0% chance of rain. And when I was getting here like 7:30 this morning, I was just clouds in the distance. I go, uh-oh. Hey, Jim, what do you got here? What are you sporting? A 36 Ford. I'm going to say it's a panel truck.
Yeah, it's built like a panel truck. I just think it's modified, that's all.
Uh-huh.
It's a modified vehicle.
What did it start out as?
It used to be a four-door sedan.
This was a four-door sedan.
And I bought it off of a fellow from Franklin, and his name was Rich.
Uh-huh.
And he converted it into a panel truck.
It looks like it's a panel truck,
Yeah,
though.
he did a wonderful job.
Yes, he did. So you had 4 doors on this thing.
Yes.
Okay, one of the doors is the back hatch.
Is now the door on the back, yes.
This looks really cool. I've been seeing you around. I said, I got to get this guy one day. Hopefully he's going to show up today, and there you are, huh? Pretty cool.
Yeah, and he put the leather all the way around the inside, leather seats up front.
Very nice, very nice. How long have you owned it, Jim?
2 years.
2 years?
2 years.
What made you want to buy this?
I just loved it.
It's a head turner.
I like the design. I like the flathead motor.
Yeah, let's take a look at that flathead motor. Is that stock?
I don't know for sure whether it's stock or not, but
Offenhauser heads were different.
yeah, the Offenhausers are made for flathead. It's unique to me because of the 4-barrel carburetor. This is the first one I ever seen a flathead with a 4-barrel on it. But you know, most people put little overhead cam motors in them. I like the flathead.
How's it run for you?
Runs good. Got a little tone to it. It's got dual exhaust.
So what's your comfortable speed in this?
Oh, I can drive it highway speed.
67?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, I can drive at highway speed.
Wow.
I usually don't take it over 60, but I mean I can.
Yeah. That sounds good, Jim. Thanks. Where'd you get the name at? Special Deliveries.
It was on her. I don't know.
Okay, that's a good name though.
Yeah, it was just on her.
Very
so.
good.
I like the color combination with the green and black.
Thank you for showing your truck, or what should I call it, modified.
All right, so I'm here with Bill. Bill, this thing, first off, I saw the people before I even got to see the car because everyone was over here taking pictures and videos and, oh my God, it's so clean. And I was like, what are they talking about? Come over here. This thing is incredible. I've never honestly seen one this clean except for at the SEMA show. So really, and that's like tough to see in real life because you can't get up close and personal. This is unbelievable. Tell us about this Cadillac.
Well, I've always wanted a Cadillac convertible, specifically an Eldorado, which this one is. And originally I was supposed to go to Barrett-Jackson for my 60th birthday, but unfortunately because of COVID, that got canceled. So as long as you got the internet, you can pretty much find anything you want. This vehicle I found listed online through a classic car company called Daniel Schmidt out of St. Louis. And after contacting them and a little back and forth, I managed to purchase it this winter, and we brought it up, I believe, in April.
Wow. So, I mean, it's kind of brand new to your collection. And I mean, was an Eldorado something that did you ever think you'd actually acquire one? Was it really one of those things you were like, definitely, or was it a definitely maybe?
Well, I have a few cars, but this one was always kind of at the top of my list. And I don't think it was so much if as to more as when, but it had to be the right car.
Sure. So this one was obviously the right car. What made you choose it? I mean, you saw it clearly and something made you go after it other than the fact that it's an Eldorado.
Color.
What is the color called? Because it's like a vanilla, like a mocha vanilla.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact name, but you're right. It's not a pure white. It's just a slightly off-white, but I definitely wanted it with the red interior.
And it's gorgeous. It really stands out. And then I was laughing because you were telling me, I asked you, how is it to drive? Because a lot of people go, that's a lot of car. And you were like, yeah, that's a lot of car. And tell me a little bit, especially about the braking that you were talking about.
It's a lot of car, and even though it has power brakes and power steering, you need a strong right leg, and you have to be careful when you're on the road. It will drift around a little bit on you.
Little floaty.
Yeah, it's not like your modern rack and pinion suspension that you deal with today, but you got to remember it is out of the 50s.
Yes, and obviously out of the 50s, gas mileage wasn't exactly on the top of everyone's concern list. So what are you putting out on this?
Well, I haven't really checked it yet, but my guess would be somewhere between 8, maybe 10 miles to the gallon.
Now, have you driven it much since you got it? I know you've only had it for a little bit amount of time, but do you drive it around town a little bit, or is it kind of?
I don't buy them to let them sit. I've already put about 150 miles on this car, but you kind of have to have the right weather in order to take it out. So I was really happy that the weather ended up being better today than they had initially planned. So it's great to be able to get the car out and let people see it.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, everyone was crowded around this thing, and it's so funny because I was videoing it with my camera and I just kept going. It just kept going. It took a while to get past the whole thing. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous, and I really appreciate you bringing it out. Now, the other question is, you think this will be your only one? Do you think you'll pick up another one down the road? Do you think you'll ever sell this?
No, I don't think it will ever be sold. Typically, the cars that I buy, I keep them. I really don't buy them for investments or plan on selling them. I just love them. I love to drive them. I love to look at them. I love to clean them. So it's just a passion to love.
Yep, absolutely. And one last question: what's your favorite thing about this car?
The looks people give you.
Lots of them. Well, thank you so much for coming out today, and of course, like you are, really glad that the weather helped because now we got the privilege of seeing this beautiful car.
Thank you very much. Pleasure.
With me, I have Mike Timko from Warren, Ohio, and his '66 Chevy Custom C10.
Yes, sir.
This is a beauty.
Thank you. I'm very proud of it. A lot of man hours, a lot of work into this.
How long have you had it?
It's probably been 6 or so years now. It took us, my father-in-law, rest his soul, he's gone now, but he helped me. This is the first thing I ever restored and tore apart and worked on with his guidance.
Why a C10 Chevy truck?
I always wanted a truck. I always thought I was going to get an old farm truck and just cruise around in it, and that's kind of what it was when I brought it back. And then I got the shiny bug. You started restoring it, and then I started going overboard, and it just kind of went from there.
This is beauty. This thing's it's like brand new. stock engine in it and everything?
Yes, that's
327.
The factory born with 327 that this truck came with. The factory radiator, a lot of those parts, except for the replacement compressor, are what came with it.
Stock with air conditioning.
Yes.
California truck, right?
California truck.
How good was the body?
Honestly, there was some dents. I think someone had a ladder rack on it at some point, but there was almost no rust.
That's the main thing, the rust. You can pound the dents out and all that, but rust is the biggie.
Super clean, super clean.
Dog dish hubcaps, those are stock and everything?
That's the ones it came with. Those are the original Chevy rims.
How about the spotlights?
Dealer add-on. Okay. So yeah, that was put in. They either ordered it from the factory or at the dealer, and that thing's been in it since the day it came.
My T-Bird's like that too. I got those on my T-Bird. You know what? You got something really interesting in the bed. Okay, let's check these things out. You have a Janus. Is that how you say it?
I think so. That's how I say it.
And it's a street bike, right?
Yes.
And I never heard of Janus before. Tell me a little bit about it. Like where are they made at? How big it is? And
this is a 250cc. This model, they currently make a 250 and a 450 of this bike. They just released the 450. They make them in Goshen, Indiana. They hand make them. They hand make the leather, hand build them, powder coat them, do everything there, and they're hand assembled. And they're a great, light, fun neighborhood hobbyist bike. It does about 60 or so, depending on your weight.
It'll go that fast?
Oh yeah, I had two of us on there. We got up to 60. Took a minute to get there. Yeah. But it's not a race bike. But I have to say it's comfortable with the spring seat and the hardtail. It's fun. You can wind it out and feel like you're tearing it up, but then you're only doing 50. So you can really have fun with it in the neighborhood and not feel like you're getting dangerous or out of line.
So this isn't stock like this though, is it?
Mainly, yes. This has a lot of options on it, the silver take inlay, the saddlebags and stuff, but
it's all stock.
Most of these are Janus options. Like I have not done a lot to that bike at all other than clean it up.
How about the plate on the front fender?
That's it. This is number 74.
So that's the way it comes.
That's this, and then everyone, you can customize it, but this is number 74 of the 250 series. They had a 50cc, and now, so this is, when you call for parts, they'll say, what number do you have? They're very personal with their ownership.
This gives it that European look.
Yes, it does, and I like the long tank. I'm a big guy. I'm 6'6", I'm 230. This is, believe it or not, a comfortable long bike for me. I don't feel cramped.
How big of a tank is it? How many gallons?
Oh, it's not much to it. It's like 1.5 gallons.
That's it?
You would think, yeah. But it feels like it, but it sets you back from the handlebars and you just cruise.
Very nice. Let's slide up back in the back here. Let's start with the trailer first, okay? That's a really cool trailer.
Thank you. I built this. I had a friend with a landscaping trailer, and I started tearing it apart, the wireframe. I wanted something to go with the truck so I could kind of take my toys on the run. And I just started building it, and honestly, I have to say it built itself. Once I started getting it together, the ideas just came, and I wanted it to match the back of the bed of the truck, the wood and everything to flow. And then I was doing the sidecar, and I made the wood inside match that, and this project kind of built itself.
Let me ask you, I love the color. What are we talking here? What color is that?
This was a factory red truck, believe it or not, but this is the factory color called light green. Foot code.
That's a light green?
That's GM called it light green.
It's like turquoise or something.
It is, but with no metallic. Remember, this is my first chance at doing a bike. I was afraid of metallic, and so I picked a solid color. And honestly, it's grown on me. I love it.
It's pretty. It's really pretty. It really stands out. And on this trailer, we have a what?
This is an 03 Suzuki Volusia 800, and I've stripped most of it off, got rid of the chrome, the big plastic chrome, and blacked it out. And this is with a American Easy Rider, I think, sidecar rig, and brought it together and started customizing it and kind of making it. I wanted that impression of an old bike that I could ride around with my dog and my kid in the sidecar and still.
You got dogs in there?
I do. I have my last Beagle rode in it. He passed away, unfortunately. My new dog loves it. My daughter's always loved it.
How do you get him started in that?
Well, you tie him up. There's a little tie down the front and the harness on the side, and you kind of go around the neighborhood and see how it goes. I had a terrier, didn't go. He tried to hop out, tried to bite the wheel, and I said, all right, you're done. You didn't make it.
I saw a guy not long ago. He had his dog in there. He had goggles on the dog and everything.
They love it. The dogs and their ears flap and float. It's hilarious. It's a crowd favorite. I love it. The dog loves it. People love it.
Yeah, that's sweet. How about let's get this other bike. You got a truck and 3 bikes on this thing. And what do we got here? An Indian.
This is a 2016 Indian Scout 60, which is their lighter bike model. A lot of tearing this apart, redoing their lights, a lot of their gear, repainting, powder coating, changing things, different headlights and other gear to kind of give it that Army look. But again, with modern maintenance, comfort, fuel injection. So a lot of fun to drive, a lot of options available to customize it in the market right now. An affordable bike, a good starter bike for people. And
these Indians are nice. They just got nice designs. You know that?
runs like a switch watch. You know, with Polaris owning them, I'm extremely pleased with the mechanicals on these.
Mike, thank you very much for showing us all your stuff here and a lot of your toys.
Oh, thank you.
You got any more toys? You got any more toys at home?
I do. I have a 56 210, and it pulls a camper. But I can only drive so much. I got 4 here today, and I need more me to drive them.
We interviewed one fella here. He's got 5 cars here. He only lives right up the road here. He took his golf cart. He goes home and gets another car and goes back and back.
I need more people to drive stick because everything I have stick, and I need. I can't. It's like picking clothes. I got to decide what I'm going to wear today, which is a good problem to have. I'll take it.
Ninth annual Armstrong Street Scene Car and Bike Show. What do you think?
Oh my God, what a show. What we got, like 500 cars?
Oh, over 500 cars. What a great show. The weather gods were with us today, believe me. All week long we were hearing rain, and all of a sudden I woke up this morning and it said 0% chance of rain. I go, whoa, where'd that come from? And I'll tell you, it was iffy in the morning, but I'll tell you what, as it got later and later, it's just a beautiful day for a show. Huh?
Absolutely, and I know everyone that I spoke to was so excited to be here. Yeah. They were glad that the weather held out. They were glad that we were doing this.
Yes.
You still get the comments, been waiting to bring something out since COVID. So, there's some people that are that brought their vehicles out for the very first time. So, there are some, if you weren't here, I feel bad that you missed it, but hopefully you'll get to see a little bit of what was here from the footage. But what a heck of a show.
Actually, we had little kids here, we had grandparents here, we had dogs here, a lot of dogs here, lots of motorcycles and trucks, and oh my God, what a great show.
Yes.
Krysta, it's always a joy to co-host with you on this show.
Absolutely, likewise.
Okay, hopefully next year we'll be doing it again.
Absolutely, that sounds good.
Hopefully the weather will hold out next year, huh?
I hope so.
Okay.
I'm excited for it, and I guess, well, as we always say, we'll see you
down the road.